The World Racing Championship is easily the most contested in Monster Jam history, but no driver has fought more of an uphill battle than Jimmy Creten in the Bounty Hunter. For 17 years, Creten had one main goal: to be a World Racing Champion. Today, we are going to explore the story of Jimmy Creten and his racing championship pursuit. Jimmy Creten was born on July 10, 1967, in Tonganoxie, Kansas. His monster truck career began driving Plum Nuts and Shark Attack for other teams. Later, he would purchase Shark Attack in 1995 and convert it into the first Bounty Hunter. By 2000, he had already constructed a new Bounty Hunter, and in 2002, he would debut the now iconic Ford Expedition body. His 2002 season would be very promising, most notably defeating the reigning racing champion, Tom Meents, in Team Meents at the March Minneapolis show, which was just a week before that year's World Finals. That's a pretty big achievement if you ask me, and he would try to back it up at his first World Finals appearance. Qualifying did not go well for him. He was one of 3 drivers to not qualify, and thus not post a time. Creten would march his way through rounds 1 and 2, and would make it into the finals only after Pablo Faker would accumulate 10 seconds worth of penalties. In his first World Finals appearance, he would have to face the undefeated, unbeaten Tom Meents in Team Meents. Now yes, it is true that Creten beat him in Minneapolis just a week ago, but Vegas was different. Creten's first attempt at a World Racing Championship would see him lose to Tom Meents, as Tom would continue his unbeaten streak. Creten's 2003 season was a decent one, most notably winning racing at San Diego. When it came to World Finals, it looked certain that Creten and the Bounty Hunter would become World Champion. Qualifying first and marching through the bracket, his second championship opportunity came down to Brian Barthel and Wolverine, the second fastest qualifier. Coming down Thunder Alley and into the turn, both looked even, but both would spin out just before the finish. Unfortunately for Creten, it would be Barthel who had the better recovery and defeated Creten in the process. His 2004 and 2005 season was filled with promise, but in terms of a racing championship, he did not deliver. Qualifying would see him in the top 3 at World Finals 5, and at World Finals 6 he qualified the fastest. Funny enough, Creten would actually have to face Anderson in both the semi-final rounds in the 2004 and 2005 World Finals, with 2004 losing outright to Dennis Anderson and hitting a turning pole in 05 to secure Dennis's position in the finals. Freestyle in 2004 would see his truck get stuck in the container, before it becoming a spot for abuse that Medusa would later hit, which definitely angered Creten. But in 2005, Creten would be involved in a tiebreaker with Tony Farrell and Blue Thunder for the Freestyle World Championship, in which he would win. Creten's 2006 season would see him try to defend his world title, starting later in Freestyle and giving him more opportunities to win. That doesn't mean he was slacking in the racing department, as he would win racing in St. Louis. His January, however, would see his teammate Lindsey Wink and Iron Outlaw overshadow him, as Wink would be having one of the best rookie years in the sport's history. Creten would once again qualify at the top of the lineup, only being second place to Dennis Anderson. Creten would have a fairly easy 2 first-round matchups, defeating Alan Pizzo and Adam Anderson. In the semi-finals, he would defeat Pablo Faker in Blacksmith. The championship race would see him face off against Dennis Anderson in Gravedigger. It would be Anderson taking the win over Creten, meaning Creten would have 3 championship race losses since his World Finals debut in 2002. Creten's 2008 season was pretty good, not just for him, but his team. Craig Christensen, who came onto the team to take the vacant spot that Lindsey Wink left after he left for the Built Ford Tough Blue Thunder, would go on to win the racing victory at the first Houston show of the year, and throughout the year had amazing freestyle runs. As for Creten, he would take the racing win in San Antonio and St. Louis. His next championship race appearance wouldn't be until 2008, as despite qualifying first in 2007, was defeated in round 2 by Neil Elliott in Hot Wheels after spinning out in the turn. Creten would qualify 21st, the slowest of the drivers to actually turn in a time. He would defeat his current teammate in round 1, his former teammate Lindsay Wink in round 2, and Mark McDonald in round 3. Creten would lose to Tom Mance in Maximum Destruction, but due to RAI problems with Mance's truck, Creten would actually take his place in the finals. And for the 4th time, Jimmy Creten would lose in the championship race, albeit in a photo finish, giving John Seesock his 2nd World Racing Championship. His 2009 and 2010 seasons were definitely not bad by any means, but the same could not be said for his time at the World Finals. He qualified 2nd at World Finals 10, was knocked out in round 3 by Lindsay Wink, but his worst World Finals so far was World Finals 11. He got DNQ'd and was knocked out in round 1 to add insult to injury. His next shot at the World Racing Championship was 2011. Creten would qualify 9th, 1 place off of earning an automatic round 2 entry. He would defeat George Balhan in Mohawk Warrior in round 1, and Chad Fortune in round 2. His round 3 win would be his greatest, however, defeating Dennis Anderson in Gravedigger, who suffered a blown engine in the final corner of all places. He would go on to defeat Balhan a 2nd time, as he was the fast loser when 2 trucks from round 1 couldn't return, which would see him recreate the championship race that occurred 9 years earlier. 2011 championship race saw Tom Mance and Jimmy Creten face off for the 2nd time in history. And once again, Tom Mance would get the better of Creten, leaving Creten with 5 losses in the championship race. From 2012 onwards, Creten's time at the World Finals would not be pretty, either losing early on in racing or crashing in freestyle early. He had some good stints in 2013 and 2014, making it to round 3. However, 2 things in the industry happened that may have had a little influence on the events of 2019. Ooh, foreshadowing. Those 2 things were the relocation of the event and that Creten had debuted a brand new bounty hunter that was nothing like his previous trucks. 2019 would see him return to the first numbered World Finals outside of Vegas, at Orlando. Now, remember what I mentioned before? Well, throw all of it out the window, because Creten qualified 2nd to last, which at that point must have been disheartening. After all, if you've qualified that badly, you're almost guaranteed to not win a championship, right? Well, Creten would have to climb through the bracket, and so he did, defeating Heavy D and Brodozer in round 1, Tristan England and Earthshaker in round 2, and would then have to defeat both Ryan and Adam Anderson in rounds 3 and the semi-finals, which Creten did. At this point, the fun and games were over. He had been in this final round situation 5 previous times. He had lost all of them, but he would have to face the Orlando native, Bari Musawa, in Zombie Fire. Bari was a fast racer, and Creten had previously lost to him at the 2013 World Finals, so all eyes were watching this historical race.
Zombie Fire is going to cross that finish line first, but Zombie is going to get disqualified as well.
Despite your view of whether or not Musawa actually red-lighted or not, the official decision was made. After 17 long years and 5 grueling previous attempts at the World Racing Championship, he had finally done it. He had become a World Racing Champion. Creten, understandably, was emotional in the moment and would raise the trophy high with his wife, Dawn Creten. Over the 2-decade-plus history of the event, never, and I mean never, was there a moment that matched the 17-year journey of Jimmy Creten's pursuit of a World Racing Championship. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon with some more Monster Truck content.